friends, we are finally here. This is exactly where the envelopes for modern next-generation airships will be manufactured. Today we are here to give you a tour of the facility. We'll see how everything works, go through the entire cycle of how an envelope is made, talk to the team, ask some interesting questions, and pull back the curtain on how airship envelopes are manufactured in general. And for those who just joined the video and have no idea what's going on, you're watching the Next Generation Airship project. We've set a goal to revive the airship industry, and we're doing it together with you, so stay tuned. It's going to be interesting. Our production is currently, you could say, launched in its basic version, but despite that, we already have the necessary basic minimum to produce fairly large airship envelopes. And right here in the very near future, one of them will be made for the Nova 2 airship. Now let me officially introduce Vladimir Alekseevich. He is the head of our envelope production facility, and today Vladimir has kindly agreed to give us a short tour, show us how everything is set up, and answer a few of our questions. Hello, Vladimir.
Hello.
Thanks again.
Hello everyone, I'd be happy to help. Right now we are here in the production area of the envelope assembly shop, which is the section where all of the equipment is located that enables us to carefully produce our high quality products, airship envelopes. Right now we are currently standing by the inspection light table, which is a specialized station that allows us to automatically check all of the fabric coming in from the supplier. So what we do is we go ahead and check the roll length parameter just to make sure everything is correct. And for any defects in the fabric. Fabric defects are identified by the operator against the light table, marked and then entered into the log. The log specifies the exact meter mark where this defect was found. And the mark is carefully made with a bright noticeable tag that sticks out clearly past the edge of the roll, making it easy to spot. So as you can see, the machine is actually very simple and straightforward to operate. In the background, what we do is place the roll, which is the one that came directly from the supplier, into a special cradle that is designed specifically to hold it securely in place. This setup helps ensure everything is ready for the next steps. We thread it through the rollers and secure it carefully onto the take-up reel, making sure it is properly aligned and firmly attached. Then we simply turn the machine on, and as you can see, the material begins to wind smoothly onto the reel while we carefully watch and identify any possible defects or irregularities that might appear. Now, if you look at the control panel, you will notice that it consists of several important components. There is the main light, the light control knob, the power control switch, and also the winding speed control dial, each of which plays a crucial role in the overall operation of the machine. So, one of the important, as they say, elements is the counter, which shows us the measurement down to the millimeter.
The roll length?
Yes, the roll length. Based on the results of the inspection process, an official acceptance report is carefully drawn up in which all of the identified defects are clearly noted. And the quality department carefully reviews these inspection results and then makes a decision, after thoughtful consideration, on whether or not to allow this material, this particular roll, into production. The rolls approved for production are moved to the cutting area. It is placed directly on the automatic feeder and pulled onto the cutting table. One operator controls this entire machine. The person who receives files in electronic form from the design bureau is responsible for converting these digital files using the cutting table program. After making sure the files are properly prepared and formatted, they then send them on to be cut, ensuring the process runs smoothly from start to finish. Cutting includes the graphic application of graphic signs and the cutting of the material. When there are no small parts, you can increase the speed. When there are straight lines, it usually means there are no small sharp turns at all. But when inscriptions like these appear, all of those, then yes, the speed needs to be reduced because it just flies by and doesn't have time to draw. When something goes wrong, I can quickly stop it by using the sensors, take a brief pause, fix a few things that need attention, and then continue on. Well, at the moment we are making a receiver as requested by the Design Bureau testers, on which tests of VGS systems, VGS, yes, valves, and other related components will be conducted. These tests will help ensure everything works as intended.
Here on the table, there are already some finished elements of this receiver. What happens to them next?
Some will go to the manual assembly areas, some will go directly for high-frequency welding. We take the cut parts, and by means of thermal welding, we join them into parts that will be further welded on the high-frequency machine. We are currently manufacturing the actual load-bearing belts that will be installed on the receiver. The welding quality turns out to be very good. The part is completely welded. We are now at a high-frequency current welding machine with a power of 25 kilowatts, which allows us, thanks to its characteristics, to weld infinite, so to speak, seams with a step of 1,200 millimeters and a width of up to 40 millimeters. By using interchangeable electrodes of various widths and thicknesses, well, we can weld any kind of seams. By using backing electrodes, which make it possible for us to weld shaped parts, such as rings, sleeves, and other product ranges developed by the Design Bureau, we are able to achieve precise and reliable results. The operating principle of this machine is physically similar to the operating principles of a large machine. So its main advantage is that just one person can easily operate it, and it is actually more specifically adapted for the production of detailing, especially for welding detailing. And besides that, it is mobile for us. It is on wheels and can move throughout the entire workshop. That is, when manufacturing large volume shells, we can move it around the workshop to any place where we need welding. Under the influence of high-frequency currents, the material heats up and welds together. In high-frequency welding, the welding occurs at the junction of these fabric layers. That is, the upper layers are not damaged, and this allows the fabric to be preserved.
Its properties.
Its properties, yes, which is quite important for us. And the polymer layer becomes a single whole.
You personally selected the people for your team. Who are these people? What connection do they have to airships or balloons?
These people have worked closely with me for many years, actually for more than 15 years, in the area of shell production. Their ongoing dedication and experience have truly made a difference. They were the ones who directly created all the technical processes, taking part in their development and implementation. For instance, Oleg Borisovich, he even worked on the legendary AU-30, ran all the electrical wiring in the gondola. Sergei Ivanovich is also a man with a wealth of experience. Everything that's attributed to me, everything I've built, I built together with these very people. And that factor is in itself, so to speak, clear proof of the fact that after so many years, when I called them, they came without asking what or how. They just came back to build airships again, just as we once did.
Vladimir Alekseevich, to be honest, I sincerely believe that under your expert guidance, we'll definitely succeed.
Success will be on our side.
Yes, thank you. We're definitely not saying goodbye just yet. From now on, we'll be frequent guests here, and we'll keep you updated on all the technological developments. And we'll be showing you every stage of the production process. And very soon, we'll see the envelope for the Nova 2 airship. So stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next episodes.